Hey there guys, welcome to PhoneArena. It's Basil here, and today we're taking you through a video review of the Nokia Lumia 800. The Nokia Lumia 800 is Nokia's first phone running Windows Phone 7.5. It's an exciting prospect, as what Nokia do is take a great OS and jam it full of their own apps as well. They don't change the UI, which is pretty good because we really like the UI. But what you do get is things like Nokia Drive, Nokia Maps, which we've absolutely loved from Symbian, and as well as Nokia Music, a new proposition from them. While we've had Nokia Music before, it's never been quite like this. We'll explain why later. First off, let's take a look at the design of the handset. The screen on the Nokia Lumia 800 is pretty decent. At 3.7 inches at WVGA, the pixel density is alright. What you can expect though is a slightly smaller screen than the N9 to accommodate for the capacitive buttons directly below the handset. This is a bit of a shame, as we really love the size and the way the Nokia N9's size screen played against the handset itself. That said, it does perform very well in the Nokia Lumia 800. Bear in mind the AMOLED display can deliver blue hues when viewed at an angle, and this is predominantly noticeable in web viewing. That said, everything works extremely smoothly. The screen's very nice and responsive, and colours are vibrant, vivid, everything just pops, and the blacks are very nice and deep, working very well with the Windows Phone OS. There are 3 capacitive buttons below the screen, while to the right hand side of the handset is a volume rocker, a lock and power button, as well as a camera button. At the top end of the unit is the 3.5mm headphone jack, as well as the micro USB port, which is kept under this slightly flimsy flap, and we can clip everything together. That's the SIM card slot. There you go, everything's closed, making for a very nice flush finish. And at the bottom of the handset is the loudspeaker. On the reverse of the Nokia Lumia 800 you can expect to find the 8MP camera with its Carl Zeiss optics and f2.2 lens. You've also got the dual LED flash. In terms of overall design therefore, the handset looks and feels very slick indeed. The unibody plastic is nice and solid. It's got a good weighting to it. Some people might find it a little bit heavy, so you may want to try it. However, we found it extremely solid and comfortable to use in the hand. It also sits well against the ears, so it gets the big thumbs up as far as usability goes. The addition of a camera button on the right hand side makes it very handy if you're a keen, happy snap photographer. The OS as well works very nicely with one-handed usage, and the hardware seems to complement the Windows Phone operating system very nicely. While we would have liked a slightly larger screen, the capacitive buttons are necessary for Windows Phone, so we can appreciate why the screen size was reduced. Looking inside the Nokia Lumia 800, and it's everything we've come to expect from Windows Phone 7.5. We've got beautiful live tiles which make everything just look extremely smooth. You've also got, as you can see, your list of apps on the right hand side. Now, while we could go into extreme detail on the whole user interface, we won't do that, as Nokia have included quite a few things which really should take precedence. So above the standard things like caller and everything like that, which you can see in, for example, our radar review, we're going to jump straight into the Nokia apps. Now, the first of these Nokia apps is Nokia Drive. Nokia Drive is a fantastic turn-by-turn voice-based GPS system that's included within all the Lumia 800 for free. The application allows you to go straight into the settings when you load it. You can then go to Manage Maps, and as you can see, it displays the maps. Now, these are cached maps, they're all entirely offline, and adding a new map is extremely easy. As you can see, if I just want to select a continent, so I want to go to America, I want a holiday, I want to go to the Bahamas, that's a 26MB map that I can just install for offline usage. Alternatively, as you guys probably live in the States, I will go to the USA, find where in the USA, so let's say California, and then 145MB later, and I can have my map downloaded onto the phone for an awesome turn-by-turn GPS navigation experience. You can also download voices as well. So we can show you that now. So Manage Maps, as you can see, as we're based in England, you can scroll through the maps. You can change between 2D and 3D map viewing. You can zoom in with pinch to zoom. And it's just loading the maps. There you go. It's just locked onto our location, and we can pinch to a very familiar, very user-friendly map interface. Now, on the theme of maps, but going away from Nokia Drive, you've also got Nokia Maps installed. Unfortunately, at the moment, this is in beta. However, we expect what we got from Symbian Maps, which was effectively the ability to cache our maps offline, which made it really stand out. What's nice about the Windows Phone UI is that you've got a very attractive user interface, and the map options that you get are also given to you in a very simple and appealing way. So you can have your standard map, press the layers. This is all very similar to Google Maps, it just looks a lot simpler and cleaner. And then finally, you've got public transport links, which here in the UK is extremely important. And if we zoom out so we get an overview of London, and then zoom back in, let it load up, we can see it actually looks extremely informative, showing you where all the specific train lines are running through. We really like this. As far as settings go, at the moment it's very light on the ground, given that it's a beta. But we're assuming once the app, the full version, gets released, we'll have a few more options. Now, the pièce de résistance is probably Nokia Music. Nokia Music enables you to effectively view your music as standard in competition effectively with the Zune interface. However, what you can also do is have something called Mix Radio. This provides you with a series of pre-prepared playlists. As you can see, it's just loading up, pulling the information from the internet. 11 playlists for each genre of music, and that includes pop, rock, indie, alternative, dance, rap, hip-hop, classical, jazz, blues, metal, soul, R&B, funk, and specialities. So click on pop. You see a picture of, say, Lady Gaga. You think, great, I really want that Lady Gaga playlist, but I'm going underground. I need it offline. So all you need to do is give it a long press, make available offline, and then, as you can see, it's now downloading offline listening. Now, I don't actually want a Lady Gaga playlist offline, so we can delete that, but I'm quite keen on some Florence and the Machine. So all I need to do is tap my indie playlist, and then it'll start playing. As you can see, it's all very simple and clean. Unfortunately, again, this isn't the final version, so things are subject to change, and there are major limitations with the version we have. One of them being you can't view all the songs in a list view. What you can do is you can skip tracks, but you can only skip up to about 6 tracks at a time, and then you have to listen to a full song. So it isn't completely your music, and you do have to renew the offline content after 4 weeks. However, it certainly is a nice addition, and the fact that we have offline listening makes it quite usable underground. So what Nokia Music also offers is some localized information. As you can see, underneath MP3 Store, which as predicted is very similar to Nokia Music on other handsets, allowing you to buy MP3s, is something called gigs. Tapping that accesses your location and then suggests some cool gigs near you. So if we want to see Stefan Mikas, tells you a little bit about him, tells you about where he is, and then you can share it, you can pin it to your start menu, or you can get some more information and locations. There's also additional options. Nope, there isn't. So we can click share. We can share this to email, post to the web, or share via SMS to get all our friends involved in the gig as well. This is all part of Nokia's attempt to really unite people and make the Windows Phone experience extremely cohesive, fun, and all about sharing. As far as the camera module goes, it produces some pretty good pictures overall. With an 8 megapixel sensor and an f2.2 lens, we really expect the high things from the Nokia Lumia 800. That said, unfortunately, the performance was inconsistent. It was slightly below par when compared to the Nokia N9. While Nokia's touch to focus works extremely well on the handset, much better than on the N9 for example, the actual core picture experience wasn't all that great in general, as it would often blow colors out and it didn't handle noise all that well. As you can see from this shot, it looks extremely grainy. That said, it did produce inconsistent performances. Some of the shots taken on the handset were really beautiful and atmospheric. So even though noise handling isn't all that great, it still manages to deliver some really stunning shots, as you can see. So with inconsistent performance, hopefully this will get fixed in future updates from Nokia. That said, it definitely isn't a bad camera, so if you want to just happy snap here and there, it should suffice for your needs. As far as video goes, it has 720p video, and continuous focus can be a little bit sticky, unfortunately. This was our main gripe with the video, as everything else, it seemed to be pretty decent, detail levels were good, and noise wasn't all that bad, with the dual LED flash helping with the situation. As far as enjoying content on the handset goes, this can all be done via the Zune store. You can enjoy videos very simply, and we won't go into too much detail. As we said, we've covered this extensively with the the HTC Radar. However, the video browsing is very smooth off the back of the fact that all the videos are rendered for the handset via the Zune application on your computer. You also have very comfortable audio. As you can see, you can browse through tracks. You can then, when in the changing the volume, control the track as well. And when in the lock screen, you can also control your track. So this makes for a really comfortable, intuitive experience in terms of audio and video on the Nokia Lumia 800. The fact you've also got a pretty great screen helps as well. Connectivity on the handset's pretty predictable. You've got your standard GPS, Wi-Fi, 3G, etc. Unfortunately, it's not quite as well connected as the Nokia N9, with NFC removed, as well as a pentband global appeal. That said, thanks to the Qualcomm chipset. That said, it does perform very nicely for what you want it to do. If you buy it in your market and know it will work where you want it to work, browsing the web is a very smooth experience. The GPS logs on extremely quickly, and on top of that, you also, as you can see, have Windows Phone 7.5's very good internet handling. Unfortunately, however, this doesn't apply to videos with no flash support and the inbuilt YouTube player performing pretty badly, to be honest. So you may want to try this one before you buy. But as you can see, we're connected on Wi-Fi now, and it's literally absolutely flying through the pages with text looking nice and crisp. There's always that blue hue in the background. When viewed at an angle. This is thanks to the AMOLED screen. We've mentioned this a couple of times already. But once you get past that, it really does perform very well indeed. As far as performance in the handset in general goes, the 1.4 GHz Qualcomm processor just powers everything along very well. We really do have no complaints at all. When you look at the HTC Radar, 1 GHz was enough, and this certainly shows with no slowdown whatsoever. As far as battery life goes, you can expect a full day out of the Nokia Lumia 800. Unfortunately, it's not quite up there with the Nokia N9, or indeed the HTC Radar as far as battery life goes, which is a real shame. That said, it should last, like we said, a full day, and if you're conservative, you may be able to get a day and a half to 2 days out of it. The Nokia Lumia 800 is therefore a very respectable handset. With such a short turnaround time from Nokia, we really are impressed by what they've managed to do, getting a Windows Phone 7.5 handset to market that not only works, but works very well indeed. Sure, certain things could be better. It could have better battery life. They could have kept the NFC, made the screen full WVGA instead of the WVGA, instead of clipping the bottom part off. But that said, as far as a day-to-day phone goes, it does work extremely well. Performance is very nice and snappy, the camera is pretty good, and on top of that, it feels extremely great. So there you have it, the Nokia Lumia 800. If you're looking for an alternative to the device, you can consider, if you love the form factor and really want an open source platform, the Nokia N9, though be aware it probably won't have strong development support in the future. That said, if you want another Windows Phone device and want a similar, slightly lower price point, you can consider the HTC Radar, which does have a little bit better battery life. Thanks for watching PhoneArena. This has been Basil with a video review of the Nokia Lumia 800. For more on this and other handsets, just check out www.phonearena.com.